So before I go on to explain what our goal should be and how it can be achieved, I just want to, give a few examples, or give an example, to make sure that we're on the same page, because you could be sitting there and you could be quite happy with your life, you could be quite comfortable, and there's a good chance you are if you've got, an iPhone in your hand, or you're sitting at home with your PC and watching this video. So I mean, the really poor people can't even see this video, so I may be preaching to the unconvertible, if that makes sense, because as I say, if you've got your comforts and you've got the ones that you love and you like your job, then what I'm saying is perhaps not relevant to you. But what you need to understand is that most people in the world don't have these things, alright? They might have their loved ones, they might have some kind of income, they might be able to sustain themselves, but all they're doing really is sustaining themselves, And I'm not just talking about, the people in the third world, I'm talking about the people in the developed world, the people that basically have enough money to cover their outgoings each week and nothing to really enjoy their lives, or if they do enjoy their lives, it's, for what purpose? To be drunk on the weekend, to get high occasionally, to, buy a new television or a faster car, just to pass the time while you're waiting to die. And that is all we ever do, is pass the time while we're waiting to die. But couldn't we be doing it in a way that just leaves us in a perpetual state of bliss, that in a way where we're not worried about making ends meet all the time? Couldn't we be doing things that we really want to be doing, whatever it is you want to be doing? Why aren't you doing that? Why are you going to work for a company that doesn't care about you, following rules that were not made in your interests, struggling just to put food on the table when food grows in the ground? Food comes from the light, it comes from the sunlight, it comes from the earth. Why should you be having to break your back 5 days a week, just so that you can give yourself enough energy to keep on doing it, just so you can buy a house that you don't spend any time in because you're out breaking your back? You're doing things for people that are making a lot of money and living like kings, and what do you get out of it, really? I want you to think about that seriously, because there's a good chance that you are in that situation, and there's an even bigger chance that most of the people in the world are even worse off than you. So just think about that, because what is the point of living if all you're living for is to be able to go to work, and you spend 5 days a week doing that, getting up when you don't want to get up, going to bed when you don't want to go to bed because you got to get up, just totally under control of a system that really doesn't benefit you at all. You might be able to enjoy parts of it because you're able to find your own enjoyment in life if you try hard enough. And even me with these ideologies, I can still go out and I can still find some way of making money, and I can still spend that money in whatever way I choose, and it can be alright. Life is alright. Modern living is alright. I like watching TV sometimes. I like wearing nice clothes sometimes. I like getting drunk. I like doing all these frivolous things that we, save our money to do. But we could be doing something so much better. And just because we're able to do these things and make ourselves happy for a little while, it doesn't mean that everybody can do that, and there's so many people that can't. And that is my point. We need a society that caters for everybody in it, and provides for everybody in it and takes care of everybody in it, and we just don't have that. We're not even going to have free healthcare one day. I mean, a lot of countries most countries, maybe, I don't know, perhaps I shouldn't say most, but probably most countries don't even have free healthcare. You get sick, you got to pay to get better, you know. You're hungry, you got to pay to eat. You're cold, you got to pay for clothes, you got to pay to live in a house. You're just constantly obliged to be wasting your time doing things for other people that are getting rich and fat off your labour, you know. And that is the reality of the situation, and it should not be this way, and it does not have to be this way, you know. What do you want for your children? What do you want for your grandchildren? What do you want for all of your descendants, you know? Do you want them to be like slaves like we are now, or do you want something better? Do you want them to be able to be free? Do you want them to be able to develop in a way that, you know, helps them discover the reality of their existence and helps them spread love around to other people? Do you want your children to be free in this way, or do you want them to be trapped into breaking their back for 5 days a week just so they can enjoy 2 days off and then back again on Monday? Do you really want that for our future generations? You know, do you want that for, you know, billions of people all around the world, or do you want them to, live in basic misery, just chasing, you know, small moments of enjoyment? You know, that is what we need to think about. That is the situation that we need to address, because we can teach our children to be supermen, you know. We can teach them that the world is beautiful and that they can do whatever they want, and they can express themselves in every way they see fit, and they can better themselves. Or we can teach them that life is a struggle and they've got no choice, and they're trapped into paying rent and paying bills and, you know, chasing material objects, because that's what they're being taught at the moment, and that's how they're going to grow up, and that leads to unhappiness, that leads to misery, and it leads to people doing terrible things. It leads to people trying to hurt each other. It leads to people killing each other. It leads to people raping each other. You know, it leads to so many things that are just, you know, the product of people acquiescing to their desire, because they can't live in a balanced way. They can't live, you know, they can't live in a way where they're truly allowed to be at one with their environment and at one with those that share their environment, you know. And they're not able to realise that they're part of that environment, that everything is inextricably linked. And if they had the chance to do that, then the world would be such a better place, you know. It's just simple. It's so simple. So why aren't we working towards that outcome? Why are we working towards the outcome that is killing the planet and killing the inhabitants of the planet and just spreading misery? Why are we doing that? That's what I wonder.